everybody, and welcome to the Right Away After Party Open Mic. This is the first time we've ever done this, so you can call it a pilot, you can call it a beta test, because the reason we're doing this is not only do we have a podcast all about writers and writing, but we also decided we wanted to have a platform where writers and creatives could come and share, because every writer needs to practice reading out loud. You need to practice sharing without being terrified. It's always a little bit terrifying when you're standing in front of an audience for the first time. I'll never forget an interview with Julie Andrews, and she said, "I'm always terrified before I go on stage." And I think it's a good thing. Oh, I can just hear her saying that. Every person is going to get 2 minutes to introduce themselves, tell us maybe a snippet of what they're about to do or what they're working on, and then they will perform. Let's get the party started. Why don't we start with Mary?
Hello, my name is Mary Walsh. I live in Hornchurch in Essex, which is about an hour from central London. I'm a poet and author. I've been writing since I was about 9, probably. I've written a detective novel called Detective Armando Ramirez and the Iberico Ham Murder. And I've also just had my first poetry collection published, and that's what I'll be reading from today, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying being here. Thank you. So my first poem is from my collection, of course, but this is about where my dad came from in Ireland, in near Dungarvan, and it's called the Comra Mountains. We rise over fields and houses, lambast the tarmac with gorse yellow. Green moss is a coverlet for burrows. The disdain of the world fades at the sight of the V. The sheep voice their joy. Birds sing a welcome. The earth springs under our feet. A palette of purple, tawny brown lowland, where swifts swoop, dart, plummet, while eagles soar over an obsidian lake reflecting a nebulous sky. Fairies and magic folk muster at midnight. The birds of the air fly free, and it's birds again. And the birds of the air fly free. How we envy their unfettered joy. They fly to the edge of tomorrow, swooping above the feathery clouds, skimming the puritanical blue of the sea, lapping at the edge of the universe. Our thoughts fly with them. Virtual longing for faraway places. Their song pierces our soul as they flit and snatch at our dreams. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mary. And let's have Kevin next, please.
Hello again, everyone. Current project, after far too many years, I'm working toward putting a poetry collection together. And this is an old poem of mine. Just deals with the idea of trying to accept things that are beyond our control. It's called Acquiescence. I dream of flying as I redline the engine, penetrate the blue strangeness of this night, to forget myself. Watch the car fall away like dead skin and leave nothing but the ghost of my virginity to navigate the moon-stained highway in the machinations of love. At the bar, I can't drink enough to pretend the waitress's kindness has anything to do with attraction. I watch her more closely than she'd probably like. Her swaying form now thick and bent through my empty glass as she leaves to get me another drink. Her beauty holds us all here in some place of stillness, until it must be the long fall back to reason. Bending over the naked, broken form of my father, I listen as he recalls the day I nearly drowned, the slow pull of the water and me falling into everything left undone, unsaid. He speaks the language of dead men, but tonight I understand the watery coughs, every shattered breath that leaves me closer to his last. He tells me that we're all driving towards something infinite, like the stars in the shotgun sky.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kevin. David.
Good evening again. Well, it's evening here anyway. In 1995, I bought an old Victorian house, and the lady who had lived there had bought it in 1935. So she was somewhat over 90 at the time that it was sold. And as you can imagine, not a lot of work had been done. So inside and outside, it was a bit of a wreck. This poem was one that I wrote in appreciation of the work that my mother did, helping us to put the garden in order. So it's called Mama Machete's Ode to Her Apprentice. Chop, chop, hack, hack, scythe, clip, clip, pot, pot, tie. Cut a little bit, create a little space, and more. This plant here, that plant there. It's just like playing patience. Not now. Wait a bit. Leave it till next year. Thin it out, let it grow. It soon becomes clear. Gardening is easy. You're learning as you go. Most plants are quite forgiving if you cut to make them grow. Chop, chop, hack, hack, scythe, clip, clip, pot, pot, tie. Cut a little bit, chop that out. We all start at Mama Machete's resounding shout. Clearing the garden at Queen's Road, summer 1995.
Oh, well done. I can hear Nancy through and through. Thank you so much, David. Let's go to Tori, please.
Okay, hi, I'm Tori Kealey. I teach creative resilience, story, and music art therapy. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I write and paint, and I sing and write songs, so that's what I'm going to share with you today. This is a song I wrote called the Mango Avocado Taco Song. Still kind of a work in progress, honestly. So here we go, the Mango Avocado Taco Song. I remember cold December, starving and alone, sunken stomach, searching for something greater than flesh and bone. You came in and filled my world. You held me and fed me until I grew strong. I've been waiting for so long to find someone to melt the wrong. We go together like mangoes and avocados, like chicken and cheese tacos, like pepperoni and pizza. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Life is so much sweeter. Don't you see? Like peanut butter and jelly, you belong with me. Now it's summer, melted butter, popcorn shared at home. Pitter patters, all that matters as we watch them grow. Soft hands wrinkle, eyes still twinkle, love is what we know. You came in and filled my world. You held me and fed me until I grew strong. I've been waiting for so long to find someone to melt the wrong. We go together like mangoes and avocados, like chicken and cheese tacos, like pepperoni on pizza. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Life is so much sweeter. Well, don't you see? Like peanut butter and jelly, you belong with me. You belong, you belong, you belong, you belong, you belong, you belong, like umbrellas and pina coladas, like spicy jalapenos and nachos, like pepperoni pizza. Life is so much sweeter, life is so much sweeter. Don't you see? Like peanut butter and jelly, like chocolate and strawberries, you belong with me.
Ah,
Thank you.
very nice. Thank you, Tori. Marilyn, would you like to go next?
Sure. I'm Marilynn Winters. I'm not as into writing as long as you folks. It was more of a kind of a retirement thing for me to do. And so one of the things that I was fortunate enough to do was to have a class with Cath, and she introduced me to Nonato poetry. And it was something that is going from 9 words, line by line, down to 1 word, or 1 word down to 9. So I tried my hand at that. That was fun, and I liked it. But I wanted to do double time. So I wanted to go from 1 word to 9 and back to 1. And so I did that. That was fun. So now I've done a new one. That's its shape.
A little higher, a little further away, and a little higher. Further away?
Is that good?
Thank you.
Okay. And so this poem is called Southern Summer Storm. Summer. Storms coming. Heavy, stifling heat. I can feel it. You feel it too, right? The wind ruffles the tree branches. Thunder's low rumble gives us fair notice. Lightning leaps across the sky. Thunder now crashes. Danger. Rain is pelting, incessant lightning and thunder. Danger. The front's fury is too much to bear. I hide my eyes, seeking safety within. Wind calms down. Thunder now whispers. Rain, only a soft patter. See, the clouds are evaporating. Sun's peeking through. All gone. Summer.
Aww. I wanted to do everything. Thank you very much, Marilyn. Anna, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I'm Anna Jinja, and for most of my life, I've been battling ifs. So I've been battling, if I'm cool enough, people will choose me. If I'm pretty enough, people will choose me. If I'm rich enough, people will choose me. Or if I'm just happy all the time, people will choose me. But this year, I'm throwing that all away. I'm choosing myself. And I've been doing that for a while. One of the ways that I've processed my adoption story is hosting a podcast that features adoption and foster care stories. I match them to musician and poet, and the musician or poet will write or select a song or poem for the guest. And we have what I call a creative interchange to be able to talk about the stories and the ways that we have much in common and the things that make us different to be able to create transformation and compassion for each other. And so that's one of the ways that I process my adoption story. And then I wrote a novel, and I was told when I started to write the novel that it was a self-indulgent activity, it was a waste of time, and the only way that you should write is if it generated money. And so while that partner had a lovely English accent, when he texted that to me, I decided this person was not so much for me. Exactly. But I continued to write this novel and had the support of many people, especially people in this room that were helpful on the journey to write, because I've just come to believe that whatever we do, if we just embrace these creative expressions of who we are, that is the way that we're going to make a positive difference in this world. I just believe it. So I wrote the novel and I got it published. It's called Adopting Grace by Anna Jinja. And it's about this, yeah, and it's loosely based on my story as an adoptee who grew up in Iowa. There are many things that I wrote because I wrote what I knew, but my sister will say she is not the Christina character. So if you ask her and you see her, tell her she's not the Christina character, who is a little bit of a snotty little character. But it's about this mom who has these children, and her husband has an affair with his high school sweetheart, and she's trying to be adoptable. She's trying to find all the ways that she felt like she did things right in the relationship, and yet he continues to fall in love with this other woman. But this is the story that Grace, the main character, is having with her college roommate, with her daughter, and the college roommate is telling her daughter about a story about when Grace was dating. So Cindy refuses to accept my lead-in and continues on with how I got a date because of a botched attempt to order a pizza. That guy never asked what she looked like when he set up a time to meet your mom at the Ped Mall to grab a bite to eat. She got herself worked up into a frenzy about it and asked us all what to do. We told her to just go, but she decided to wear a pair of sunglasses because she thought she might give her some time before having to reveal she was an Asian chick. Cindy shakes her head and sums up the story. She left at 3 in the afternoon and didn't come back until I thought it was like midnight or maybe later. It must have been a good first date in the end. The sunglasses incident still stings after all these years. I never told anyone. He made up an excuse and ditched our date early. Humiliated, I hid out at the library till I felt enough time had passed to safely go back to the dorm without having to answer any questions about the mystery caller. And so that's the story, Adopting Grace, is all the ways that she has rejected herself and trying to figure out how to adopt herself in the end.
Well done, Anna. I love that was great. Josh, would you like to go next?
Absolutely. My name is Josh. I've been a graphic designer for about 30 years, and I've been getting into songwriting just in the last couple of years. I love it very much. I find the constraints of songwriting to be comforting. And I'm not singing today because I'm not as brave as Tori is. But I wrote this thing that I was kind of out of my comfort zone. But I lean into my tendency to look at characters. What I love about songwriting is being able to look into, make up a fictional character, give that person a name and feel something for that person and get a glimpse into their life. This is called Newborn Dream. When an embarrassing memory is too much for Audrey to sit with, she stands up, paces around her room, and sometimes screams in an effort to drown out a story from her past that she wishes were untrue. She read all the books about leaning into shame, and she tries, but sometimes it's just too damn hard. And she wonders if leaning into joy is really any easier, because when the most alluring daydream is also too much for her to sit with, again, she stands up, paces around her room, and sometimes screams in an effort to will into existence a possible future that she desperately wishes would come true. In those moments, so full of hope, it never occurs to her that months or years later, that beautiful newborn dream will die a shameful death in the same ridiculous ritual. Thanks.
That was lovely. Thank you, Josh. Patrick. Patrick, would you like to go next?
Sure. Credo. The way I dealt with the madness of the world was to become an artist as outsider, a weakness turned to weapon. I fantasized about flamboyanting my way through life as the most fabulous drag queen ever, spiking the insanity with heaven-sent barbs, drag as court jester, queen of the speedboating quip, cutting through the pretensions, like a hull slicing through the placid lake. Who wouldn't want to be a fearless bitch in an eye patch and a crimson bustier, with peacock feathers and a gossamer angel wings, and nothing between her and heaven but the celestial blue, sugared with stars? When in doubt, courage. Rage against the dull, prosaic norm, with a gift from the universe back to the universe. And the sun will always come out tomorrow, come what may. We're all orphans in the end. We all need to be the mother and father to ourselves we longed for. Gold from lead, that's the reward if one lives a life of alchemy. The art of living is never surrender. Keep going. Keep doing the dirty old dishes in the kitchen sink, but don't forget to pick up the treasures on the dusty road along the way. The visionary leading the blind home. Pack the suitcase, set off on a journey to India. At the end, the mosaic of your life that you lived, with all its miscellaneous experiences, will shine in the sun and your work will be done. And I'm going to read you a work in progress, the end of my second novel, which is the sequel to this novel, Bog Boy, A House. I started my long life in a house of shadows, and it seems I will end my days in one. But these shadows are different. They fold in on themselves as though 2 dimensions have become 3. I live surrounded by the roosting pigeons above and the even more untrustworthy feral alley cats below. We lock the doors in the evening, but often a lone stray has found a way to sneak back inside the cloister itself from the noisy world beyond. Perhaps it was a monk or holy man in a previous life, remembering the peace afforded by a courtyard that encloses and enfolds us in silence. This is not a house belittled by hate or cold looks. It is a house bathed in love. I came here to quench the raging thirst left by life's losses and loneliness. It's really only half a house and half a ruin, but I like that too. The way so much of it, courtyard, roof, and even ceiling, are open to the sky, the unfolding of the heavens in the evening, and the brutal heat of day when we bless every inch of shadow and shelter the inner sanctum, as the inner sanctum provides. So I found my dream palace, and the last falling into rack and ruin like its new owner. But then I was born in ruins, and I will die in one, unless I'm still able to be carried one last time out to the desert beyond, where the buzzards can feed on my carrion, my last gift. Take it all. The flesh never meant so much. Jamal and Fatima are kind, almost too kind. They shelter me, feed me, nurse me. This is a house of healing and generosity, in a space equidistant between the city and the desert and the stars, as though some kind of miraculous sacred geometry finally brought me to this still point in the world after a lifetime of restless wandering. So many kinds of love I lost, found, embraced, let go of, friends, lovers, family. And in the end, it came down to place.
Thanks very much, Patrick. Okay, August, you're up.
So I'm currently enjoying my first self-inflicted artist in residence program in a cabin in the woods in Washington State. And I'm working on 2 memoir projects. One is called A Bad Widow, which is the story of my relationship with my husband before and after he died. It got way more interesting after he died. And I'm also working on a project called Explicit Consent, which is my continuing relationship with consent and dating at this age, which is also interesting. So I write to figure out what I don't know how to understand. And this is one of those pieces, and it is called Everything is Broken. Everything is broken. The floors are cold because the heat is broken. The ice cube in the glass is too loud because the tap is frozen. The white dress is dirty and has blue tornadoes all over it because the washer is leaking. One day into the next, broken adds to broken. Anger adds to pain, Where his humor used to live now only half smiles of someone who doesn't get it. He can't hold my hand because his brain is mush. He drank himself to dementia, and rotting gray matter holds no joy. So I hold his hand instead, willing myself to remember the last time he reached for mine to comfort me. That memory is gone, and I can never ask him to fill that gap again. When is enough enough? How can I end his suffering without causing more? I failed when I refused his plan to walk off into the woods. So how do I prepare myself and my boys to not make the same mistake? I do not want to break them the way this has broken me. I must do better for them and for me. I can't have their hearts broken too. There is already too much brokenness. I must find a way to keep their hearts intact. It's all I have left to give them because everything else is broken.
That's great, August. Thank you. Well, if everybody would unmute now, please. I think we're going to try giving everybody a round of applause. That was really good. Really, really good. And if you out there enjoyed this event, we are going to be hosting it, I'm hoping, starting off once a month and then maybe once a week, because every single creative needs a space, needs to be able to practice, needs to be able to get their voice out, because if it's not for art, why are we living, right? And the important thing to remember is, this I heard Shirley MacLaine say. She said, you don't make a mistake, mistakes make you. So even if we make mistakes, we know we're going to be better next time, or the next time, or the next time. We just need to keep trying. All right, everybody, from the Right Away After Party, this was our very first open mic pilot, and I'm so glad, I'm very grateful to each and every one of you. Marilyn, Mary, Tori, August, Kevin, David, Anna, Josh, and Patrick. Thank you so much for being brave enough to step up onto this virtual stage, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Cath.
Bye for now.
Bye.